Council meets tomorrow, and the agenda includes a review of the licensing requirement waiver, a public petition to claim the season for game birds, and a motion to ratify the Kaibo decision relating to coastal erosion at the Kaibo Public Beach. Also on the agenda, a discussion about adding 2 local land crab species for national conservation law protection. More work ahead for Owen Roberts International Airport, this time not to the building, but to the runway. Tourism Ministry Chief Officer Strand Bodden says the runway itself will be strengthened in the coming year and the runway and safety area extended by another 400 feet. Additional parking for aircraft will also be added. That's a quick recap of some of the day's top local stories. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
I'm Carsley Fuller.
I'm Dion Anglin.
I'm Shanda Gallego.
I'm Andrew Harris.
Radio Cayman's Information Hour, produced by April Cummings, Carsley Fuller, Dion Anglin, Shanda Gallego, and Andrel Harris. You see news happening. Contact our newsroom, 949-7799. Radio Cayman News, the ultimate in news and information.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman Sports Extra Show is sponsored by King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
Sports Extra on a Tuesday, keeping you informed.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Andrel Harris, filling in for Dion Anglin, who is getting some much deserved and well-deserved R&R. Of course, Sports Extra is all about giving you the latest sporting information and activities in the Cayman Islands every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Radio Cayman. That's 89.9 FM on Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Of course, you can also tune in on our website. That's www.radiocayman.gov.ky. We're here to promote and uplift all things sporting on island, so if you'd like the opportunity to have your association or federation featured right here on our talk show, you can go ahead by sending us a quick email at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. Of course, Sports Extra is sponsored by King Sports Center. Now, tonight we'll be talking all things cricket. In the studio with me, I have the Cayman Islands Cricket Association Secretary, Mr. Ricardo Roach, as well as National Team Captain, Mr. Ramon Sealy. Of course, we'll get right into the conversation on the other side of this quick break.
Whether you're planning your child's next birthday party or simply looking for a social night out, look no further than Kingpin Bowling at King Sports Center.
With a range of packages and specials for bowling parties, socials, and corporate team building, Kingpin Bowling offers what no one else can. The only bowling alley in Cayman. And it's indoor fun, which means no mosquitoes, AC, and don't forget about their bowling bar. Book your bowling lanes today. Call 946-BOWL. That's 946-2495. Email kingpinbowling@candw.ky. For more information, visit their website, www.kingsportscenter.com.
King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
At Flow, we know that 4 are better than 1. Introducing Flow Quad Play. Packed with the fastest, most reliable broadband, the power and control of Flow Evo TV, Cayman's best mobile experience, and tons of home phone minutes, all in one convenient package from only $199 a month. With 4 plans to choose from, you're sure to find one that fits your needs. It's value, ease, and convenience all on one bill with Cayman's #1 network. Find out why 4 are better than 1 with Flow Quad Play at discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
Spend a day at Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day, the 52nd Annual Agriculture Show at the Stacey Watler Agriculture Pavilion in Lower Valley, coming March 6th. Raffle tickets are now on sale, and for only $25, you can win $20,000 and so many other prizes, including a garden package, iPhone, and staycation. Raffle tickets include general admission to the show. For more information, visit them on Facebook or caymanagriculture.ky.
The 12 p.m. weather report is brought to you by Kirk Home Center. To see what you can save this month on kitchen gadgets, housewares, decor items, patio furniture, tools and hardware, lawn and garden items, and gift ideas, check out www.kirkhomecenter.ky.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Turning to international news.
Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Oh, Cayman moon.
The voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman.
Shining down from above.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
All right, and welcome back to Sports Extra this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me in studio.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, so, let's start things off with the season, the regular season, and how it's going. Mr. Roach, the last time we spoke, you were telling me that, there was a bit of restructuring to the current league. So
yeah.
How's that taking shape?
Oh, well, it's going really, really well. We've started off with our Elite League and our Super League, so we have two different levels. One is a little bit more social than the other one. We've started off with 40 over for Elite and T20s for the Super League. Mm-hmm. And right now, that's going really, really well. So basically, everybody's off to a really, really good start. The games are going on in the BRAC every other weekend or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the last time we spoke as well, you were telling me that that the intensity level was expected to step up.
Oh yeah.
And you were planning to see the difference between the men and the boys.
Oh yeah, we have seen that. We've really been getting some really good performances, some big scores, some 5-wicket hauls. We've been getting hat tricks. It's been really, really exciting. It's been really, really good.
And Mr. National Team Captain, sir, which of the two leagues do you prefer?
I prefer the Elite for sure, because that's where most of the national league players play in the core of a group.
Yeah,
and that's the higher standard that we play down here. I also play in the Super Over as well, but that one's a little bit just a little bit less technical. So that's more of a social cricket, as Ricardo said. But it's good to get out there and not have as much pressure, because we know we're all performing to try and be on the national team whenever it's selected. And so when you're in the first division or the elites you tend to push yourself a little bit more.
And now, in the elite, the Super and the Elite, I believe there was some name changes as well.
Yeah. So in the Super, we are actually naming that one after Daniel Morris. He's a past player that passed away some time ago. A really good personal friend of all of us, and a well-known cricketer around Cayman. Yeah. And in the Elite, we're using Mr. Derek White. Cricket and the White family goes hand in hand here. And
very true.
Basically, the reason we have the Smith Road Oval, the reason that we have clay there, that we actually have a place to play, is because of Mr. Derek White. So I think it's very important that people understand exactly where we're coming from. And that way, youngsters getting involved know, these are the people responsible for cricket. And, they'll identify with that.
I mean, the sport continues to grow. Well, I heard stories of times when the teams wanted to play, they would have to go onto the pitch and kind of collect a couple bits of stones to clear the pitch at the time.
Yeah.
And now, you have an immaculate pitch that you are able to host international competitions at times here. on that note of international competitions, you guys are actually gearing up for a couple international competitions.
Yeah. We have the ICC Regional T20. It's supposed to be scheduled around August, the end of August. So a lot of us are just getting back into preparation for that, starting our training, and just trying to knock it down on what we have been missing over the last couple of months, with us being a little rusted with the break.
What do you guys need to do to get you to that higher level?
I just think we just need to put in the work down here. We have our good head coach in Pete Anderson. He's come in and he's really changed the mentality of the squad. I think a lot of people are believing a little bit more, believing in their abilities and backing themselves. So I just think that we have a good squad preparation that and everyone pushes themselves, that we'll be able to compete with those guys when we go away.
So you guys are going away now for the World Cup qualifiers, yeah?
Yeah. So just to explain how it works. So we're in the Americas region.
Yeah.
So the idea is that once we come in the top two, and I say when we do, when we come in the top two in this competition, we'll go to the World Cup qualifier in Australia. So that'll be with all the big boys, so to speak. So we're one step away from that.
And what stands between you and actually securing one of those spots?
Canada, Bermuda, and the US. But I mean, the thing about T20 cricket is that anybody can have a good day, and one really good performance can win you a game. Our guys definitely have the talent, and they have been putting in the work.
Yeah.
So, I've been around them long enough to think that they're going to get it together and they're going to do it.
Now, what I've obviously covered a couple of the times when you guys have gone away. I remember last year, if not last year, the year before, but I believe it was last year for sure, that when you guys went away, you saw mixed results in that competition. What does it take to see that increase in consistency, to see back-to-back wins?
Well, I think we were just a bit unfortunate in that last tournament, to be honest. We had Bermuda on the ropes. They needed about 16 off the last over, and the ball was in our best bowler's hands. Just this guy went for it, and it came off him on that day. But 9 times out of 10, we would win that game. But in terms of getting that consistency, I think guys just need to apply themselves a little bit. I think for too long, we have been in a kind of a lackadaisical state. So we know we're good, but we don't really commit our mind to it. So when we go away, we put in performance here and there, but it wouldn't be enough because we just think we're as good as everybody else, but we didn't really actually put in the work, and the other team was putting in the work and applying themselves. So that's just the main difference, where right now I think we do have that mentality where we know we're good, we have ability, but everyone in this world has abilities who wants to use it to the best of their capabilities, and I feel like we're moving in that direction now with everyone coming out. We have a good squad where it's going to be hard to select the people that are actually going on the team. That's another thing. We have a lot more depth in our national selection. Before, a lot of guys pretty much knew who was going on the team. You might have a few here or there that's thrown up, but everyone's now buying into it. Everyone's now committed. They see what we can do. As Ricardo said, we're basically one platform away from going to World Cup qualifiers, playing against people that we only really see on TV. So if that's not incentive for the guys to pick up the slack and get to work, then I don't know what will be.
And it's funny, the national squad, so the national team still haven't been selected. As far as the selection process goes, do we see where there's a larger pool because a lot more people are able to qualify for the national team, or are you still seeing the same number of players that you have to try and cherry pick from?
I think there's definitely been a greater selection of who's able to be selected for a national team, and that has definitely helped us. We have a few players coming in who might just be around the mark, who might miss it, but it definitely has increased our options, and they're quality cricketers. So that's where guys that used to think, I know I pretty much have a spot, now have to realize that, oh wow, I have competition now. I can't really rest on my laurels. I have to push myself and make sure that I show my results either in training. We have training matches, in training, or even in the matches in our first division, second division. We have to show who's national team players rather than who's just coming out here because they like cricket.
And what kind of pressure does this put on your shoulders as the captain of the national team?
It definitely makes me have to think and make sure I have to perform, because I don't want people saying that I'm only in the team because I'm a captain. I want to make sure that people know why I'm in the team. And even if I wasn't captain, then I'll still be in this team because I'm performing week in, week out. And I like that pressure. I think it's something that drives me rather than making it feel like a hindrance. Just go there. It's still cricket, and then I'm still playing the game that I love, the game I've been training for my whole life. So just go out there and have fun.
And as the captain, you know, are there any particular areas that you believe or you would like to see your team step up on, whether it be, you know, when it comes to tightening the field and trying to, you know, make runs versus trying to shoot for the boundary, or, you know, what any particular gameplay or strategy that you've seen implemented elsewhere that you think you guys might need to work on?
I probably think our fielding is probably one of our weaker points at the moment. It used to be our batting, but I think over the years, a lot of our younger batsmen have grown up and become more mature. So as myself, Darian, we have a new player in Chad that's coming in. His experience from playing overseas has definitely helped us, but I definitely think our fielding, where we're trying to throw at the stumps, hitting the stumps more often than not, holding on to our catches, because that's one area we used to fall down. We used to drop crucial batsmen at crucial times, and they used to go on to hurt us. So, in my opinion, I think it's being our fielding that really needs our stepping up. Although we were complimented for our fielding last time we went to Argentina, saying that it was a big improvement that people have seen in recent times. So,
wow.
Moving in the right direction.
And a part of you know, the sporting industry across Cayman, regardless of the discipline, is that we're seeing a lot of teams that are growing together, and cricket is no different here, where there are several people who've been a core group that have now grown together, played in several international tournaments together, and now, you know, that team dynamic is there. How does that help going into, you know, bigger competitions?
I think it's crucial, to be honest. We're pretty much one family when we go away. We're all us, 14, 15 of us maybe in a group. So when you're comfortable around people, it makes it that much easier to be yourself. You don't have any tension in the group. You don't have anyone trying to fight or any arguments. So it definitely helps us when we go into the team. We all have one goal. We come here to win. We know what we have to do. And it, as I say, helps tremendously. Yeah.
And now, as far as getting the leagues here to actually feed into that national team program, you know, where are we? Because it's one thing to have your an amazing league that's separating the men from the boys.
Of course.
But is this league helping to feed into that national team program?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think the growing of our national team and their improvements is really because of the competitiveness of our leagues of late. We've had a lot of players coming with international experience, and they're lifting their game. So when you show up to play and you realize that, okay, I've never seen this guy before, it helps you to lift your game to a brand new level.
I see.
So we have, there's tons of people coming into play, and it's really, really helping our leagues. It's getting better every weekend, honestly.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. When we come back after the break, we'll be discussing the Under-19 World Cup qualifiers. Of course, we'll get to that in one moment. But in the meantime, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right here with more Sports Extra after a few words from our sponsors, King Sports Center.
Whether you're planning your child's next birthday party or simply looking for a social night out, look no further than Kingpin Bowling at King Sports Center.
With a range of packages and specials for bowling parties, socials, and corporate team building, Kingpin Bowling offers what no one else can. The only bowling alley in Cayman. And it's indoor fun, which means no mosquitoes, AC. And don't forget about their bowling bar. Book your bowling lanes today. Call 946-BOWL. That's 946-2495. Email kingpinbowling@candw.ky. For more information, visit their website, www.kingsportscenter.com.
King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
I don't feel like doing nothing on this promo today. This Wednesday will be awesome.
He opened the hatch, stepped inside, then he took a seat. He checked his calibrations, then he looked at me.
Wait, hold up. First we got proud of them honoring Julian Crooks.
Then we'll have folks from the Agriculture Society.
We have our district youth cook-off champions.
What? 3 different segments? 3 different hosts? Man, we gonna need a sponsor.
Our word of the week is sponsor. SPONSOR. It's a noun that means a person, firm, organization, etc. that finances and buys the time to broadcast a radio or television program so as to advertise a product, a political party, etc.
This week we featuring the music of Matrix.
Because when my work done, I'm like a different person.
You join us this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and for Youth Flex, a program for all people by young people. Youth Flex, more than talk.
Maybe we can fall in love.
Hello, I'm Joseph Woods, the Acting Port Director. Our port facility is the hub of the Cayman Islands commerce and economic activity, handling $658 million in imported goods annually. From groceries to construction materials, all sectors of our economy depend on the port. But it is now 40 years old. Its infrastructure is degrading, and we feel the strain from insufficient space for both cargo and cruise operations. The time is now. A new expanded port facility is needed to allow both cargo and cruise to operate efficiently and to support our island's continued growth and development. Support the port, support our tourism, support Cayman's continued growth and development.
Cayman's biggest family fun day is back.
The 52nd Annual Agriculture Show at the Stacey Watler Agriculture Pavilion in Lower Valley. Wednesday, March 6th. Cookie competition, pony rides, petting zoo, beautiful baby contest, rodeo, Miss Farm Queen competition, Andy Martin the Cayman Cowboy, Roscoe the Mechanical Bull, and so much more.
Gates open at 7:30 a.m. with ample parking.
General admission is only $10. Children ages 2 to 11, only $5. And children under 2 are absolutely free. Or if you buy a raffle ticket, it includes free entrance and a chance to win $20,000.
The 52nd Annual Agricultural Show, March 6th in Lower Valley.
For more information, visit them on Facebook or caymanagriculture.ky.
Community radio with a different appeal. The voice of the people. Security through adversity. Stuck on you. Radio for all time.
You're listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
And welcome back to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Andrell Harris, filling in for Dion Anglin, who has the night off. Of course, I'm joined in studio by Mr. Ricardo Roach, the Cayman Islands Cricket Association Secretary and National Team Captain, Mr. Ramon Seeley. Now, before the break, we were talking about the upcoming or the pending World Cup qualifiers for the national teams, but there's also another World Cup qualifiers that's right around the corner as well, this time for the under-19s.
Yep. So we have the World Cup qualifiers for under-19s coming up. It's a really big tournament for them. They have not had an international tournament in about 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
And that's period in our region. Due to cuts from the ICC, etc., it just couldn't happen. But this year is happening in July. So we'll be sending a team to that.
Now, on that note, we see where football is making tremendous strides with various competitions, the under-15s, the under-19s, and several local teams that are embarking on their own journeys, trying to find other teams or hosting their own competitions to get the sport moving. What stands between the Cricket Association and accomplishing a similar feat?
Well, first and foremost, a lot more people play football. It's a lot easier to get people
I'm a footballer.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to kids all the time, and I say, well, why are you playing football over cricket? And they say, well, I mean, sir, the game lasts for like an hour and a half. Cricket is an entire day. But I mean, what we try to focus on in terms of our youth development here is our primary school program. So we're in all the primary schools. It's been the strongest youth program we've had for quite some time. And of late, we've had a really good high school competition. So we have Clifton Hunter, John Gray, Catholic, Prep, all those high schools now playing cricket. This year, we're actually introducing something new. In that we're introducing a under 15 and under 19 competition for districts.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that probably stopped maybe when I was 11 years old or so. So that's something that we plan to bring back on stream this year for sure, because we've been getting the numbers.
And, while we were in the break, you were saying as well that you're hoping that from these high school tournaments, you're hoping to feed into the under 19 program.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it acts as an incentive as well. There's so many opportunities, especially right now in the world of cricket.
Yeah.
There are people who've never played for their country, and I always think it's a great honor to be able to represent your country and be an ambassador in anything,
True.
But I mean, to be able to just have fun, play a sport, you go overseas, you represent your country, and you make lifelong friends. So, for example, a lot of the players that we played with as youth players are now playing for the West Indies. They're now playing for franchise teams in India, all over the place. And I mean, for them, it's their living. I mean, they make a lot of money doing it, definitely. But you never lose those friendships.
Yeah.
They last forever. And cricket causes you to see the world, for sure.
Wow. Now, as far as the under-19 World Cup qualifiers are concerned, when does that team selection process begin? When does the training begin for that? And when will you be looking to actually send that squad out?
Okay, so right now, I would say that they're actually already in training. They're actually a team in our elite league, so we forced them to toughen up this year and take the big step up. So they're actually playing under the name Cayman Cricket Academy, but that's made up of pretty much a lot of our under-19 players and hopefuls. We have about 3 players who also play under-19, but they're actually based in university overseas, in the UK. So they will be joining them as well. And I think there'll probably be another 2 or 3 spots that we'll probably be picking up from the high school competition. So for all those guys who are elite in that, they'll definitely be looking for a place in that team.
Now, during the break, we were discussing some of the criteria that people must meet in order to be selected for one of these squads, and you were saying there were recent changes by the ICC.
Yeah. So it used to be that you had to be here 7 years for residences, but now it's down to you have to be in the country 180 days per year for 3 years. You also have to be born here or have residence here status.
Oh. And so now that now means the transient population of Cayman has suddenly opened up, where you might have people who are here on permits that perhaps just didn't qualify before, who now are able to do so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's amazing for us because we all know that in Cayman it's very, very different when it comes to immigration in comparison to other countries.
Yeah.
So what used to happen with us years gone by, you would go to play against a Canadian team, but there's nobody really Canadian on the team. And it's the same thing when we play against countries like Hong Kong or any of those countries.
Even USA.
Yeah, even the USA.
Yeah.
So I think what the ICC has done is recognize that, these smaller countries are suffering. So they had to find a way to kind of level the playing field a little bit. So they made those changes.
Oh, well. Now, just taking it back a bit, we've also touched on the topic of the regular season leagues, the Super and the Elite League. Now, can you tell me your predictions? Who's standing out so far?
Well, in the Elite League, we already have our two finalists, the two undefeated teams. That's Seoul Cricket Club, led by the captain over there, and Paramount Cricket Club, led by another national player, Omar Willis.
Yeah.
Both teams have been undefeated, and both teams are definitely hungry for the title.
Now, I mean, you might be a little biased, but what are your predictions, Mr. Seeley?
Paramount's definitely a team that it's been between. We've always been competing around with them. I think they won 2 of the last 3 titles. They've been pretty strong over the years. Always had good pace of dog, but this year I think we have the tools to take it. I felt last year was ours, but it slipped away from us. So this year we definitely have to come and take it from them, because it's been too long that we've been competing and not winning the title. So hopefully we can get over the edge this year.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, the Premier League games that you were speaking about looking to have brought back, unfortunately, will be delayed.
Yeah, so our primary school competition was actually scheduled to start the first week of April. The idea was that it would be into primary school sports, and then we would have our competition starting right away. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I would say for some, the sports has been pushed back by a week. So we'll be starting a week later, but it'll still be highly competitive.
That's brilliant. Now, as far as the World Cup qualifiers for our under-19s, when last, if ever, has Cayman ever graced the stage on World Cup levels for the under-19s?
I don't think we've ever made it to the actual under-19 World Cup. We have been literally steps away from it, maybe 2 times or so. I do recall once, but then you had to win the competition to be able to go.
Yeah.
And we came second place.
Oh, wow.
And then the following year they said the top 2 teams would go. So, I guess the idea is that they want that elite team there. At under 19 level, we've come second, I think, twice. But we've never won an under 19 title.
And of course, it was said earlier that it's been a while since the team has been able to go out and play in a regional or international competition of this level. Are they ready? Are they ready to face such intense games?
Well, to be honest with you, based on what I've seen from them in the league, some of them are definitely ready. They're showing all the right signs. They're showing up to training. They're training hard. Peter's pretty much putting them through the same paces that the national team men would be going through.
Yeah.
So I think we'll definitely be ready. I've seen the 2 UK guys in videos and stuff, and they communicate every day with me, and they're scoring hundreds. They're taking 5-wicket hauls, so they'll be ready for sure.
Wow. And what will it take for us to bring home a World Cup trophy, whether it be the under-19s or the national teams? Will that be this time around, or will we simply be getting to the steps and making it into the competition this time around?
Well, I would say it would be a very big achievement to get to the World Cup. When you get to the World Cup, we're talking about test-playing countries, Australia, England, India. And in those countries, in comparison to Cayman, we're talking about 10,000 people trying to make one team.
Wow.
And out of those 10,000, they're going to pick 14 elite players who will never have to work a day in their life and strictly play cricket. I mean, I can remember seeing Virat Kohli for the first time at the Under-19 World Cup. And you could tell that from that age that he would definitely be one of the greats of the game. And today, that is exactly what he is. He is one of the greats of the game. But, I mean, getting to a World Cup, I think would be a major, major achievement, definitely.
Oh. Now, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Whether you're planning your child's next birthday party or simply looking for a social night out, look no further than Kingpin Bowling at King Sports Center.
With a range of packages and specials for bowling parties, socials, and corporate team building, Kingpin Bowling offers what no one else can. The only bowling alley in Cayman. And it's indoor fun, which means no mosquitoes, AC, and don't forget about their bowling bar. Book your bowling lanes today. Call 946-BOWL. That's 946-2495. Email kingpinbowling@candw.ky. For more information, visit their website, www.kingsportscenter.com.
King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
At Flow, we know that 4 are better than 1. Introducing Flow Quad Play. Packed with the fastest, most reliable broadband, the power and control of Flow Evo TV, Cayman's best mobile experience, and tons of home phone minutes, all in one convenient package from only $199 a month. With 4 plans to choose from, you're sure to find one that fits your needs. It's value, ease, and convenience all on one bill with Cayman's #1 network. Find out why 4 are better than 1 with Flow Quad Play at discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
I don't feel like doing nothing on this promo today. This Wednesday will be awesome.
He opened the hatch, stepped inside, then he took a seat. You checked his calibrations, then he looked at me.
Wait, hold up. First we got proud of them honoring Julian Crooks.
Then we'll have folks from the Agricultural Society.
We have our district youth cook-off champion.
What? 3 different segments? 3 different hosts? Man, we gonna need a sponsor.
Our word of the week is sponsor. SPONSOR. It's a noun that means a person, firm, organization, etc. that finances and buys the time to broadcast a radio or television program so as to advertise a product, a political party, etc.
This week we featuring the music of Matrix.
Cause when my work done, I'm like a different person.
You join us this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and for Youth Flat, a program for all people by young people. Youth Flat, morning talk.
Maybe we can fall in love.
Quincy, where you is? I can't see you these days.
Darling, as our Jamaican friends say, I done a foreign.
Well, I hope you coming back for Red Sky at night. You never miss that, and you better not start now.
No, girl. I'll make sure I'm there. When is this again?
Saturday, March 2nd, Parkwell Theatre Grounds from 4 p.m. to midnight. Same delicious Cayman cooked food, all the dance, storytelling, dramatic and musical performances, and of course, all the local artisans selling their beautiful art, crafts, jewelry, clothes, and accessories. There's even a new development, the Caymanian Village.
Okay, well, I'll meet you at the entrance at 4 o'clock.
Don't forget your $15 to get in now.
Tickets for Red Sky at Night are $15 for adults, $5 for children 12 and under, $10 for seniors 65 and over, and students ages 13 to 17. Get yours today through Event Pro or one of our many outlets across the island.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
And welcome back to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Andrell Harris, in for Dion Anglin, who has the night off, getting some much-deserved R&R. Of course, in the studio with me, I have Mr. Ricardo Roach, the Cayman Islands Cricket Association Secretary, as well as national team captain, Mr. Ramon Seeley. Thank you, gentlemen. The national, or rather the current league games that are going on, you're expecting to see a bit of switch up in the way the games play in the coming future.
Yeah, so for the first round, what we ended up doing was we allowed the elite to play their 40 overs first. So we have a little bit of a break in April, and then after the break, they will start T20s. The main reason for that is that our qualifier is T20, so that will be preparing them. While in the Super League, they've actually started with T20, mainly because a lot of the teams that we have playing really don't want to play the longer format, the longer 40.
Yeah.
So a lot of those teams won't be involved in the 40 over aspect. So we allow them to play their T20, they get that out of the way, and then we'll go into their 40 over after the break. So it kind of just turns.
And what's the importance of that crucial turn right there?
Oh, well, everybody used to complain at one point that the season was too long. So then everybody said, well, it was too short last year. So this year what we decided to do was introduce a break in between. So people get to still spend time with their families over Easter, etc. They get a chance to refresh. So once they get that refresh, then they'll come back and they'll play hard again. And everybody seems to like this format a lot more because they know that they have a break coming up.
Yeah.
So we're getting a greater effort from everyone.
And of course, longer rounds, more practice, more time for the teams.
Yeah, definitely. As we said, we should all be using this as training ourselves for when we're going away. It's also good just the camaraderie that we have in cricket. Some of the teams are special. We have greenies who have a good culture with them. You have to come to see it and experience it. But yeah, so as we build friendships, it's like if we're again a family. So it's good to get out there all the time in cricket and be around people that you enjoy spending time with.
Yeah. Now, the qualifier for the national team will be in the format of the T20s, yeah? How will this help to actually strengthen your gameplay going in that T20 format?
Well, the switch from 40 over to T20 is good because when you get the 40 over, you have a little bit of time to sit down and get in there and get back into the groove. So when you get to the T20 portion, you still have that mentality where you kind of accumulate runs because people tend to think T20 is just hitting boundaries, but if you hit boundaries along with picking up singles and moving the ball around like you would in a 40 over game, it keeps the score climbing. So that's good. It's good that we were able to practice that first, but instead of just jumping straight into T20 where a lot of us might just go and try to hit boundaries rather than sticking to what we know we should be doing and playing good cricket all around. And then with us moving into T20, we also, our tournament in August will be a T20 tournament as well, so we actually get that good preparation, that good intensity that we will have to be trying to match up there when we go away.
Wow. Now, I mean, during your last games, the sub-regional Americas, you guys went up against several other teams that were roughly around the same skill level and you know, presented the same tenacity. What was that like for you guys? And you, especially as a captain.
To be honest, that it was a good tournament for us in my opinion, because it opened the eyes to all of us and to people back home that we can compete at that level. It hurt overall in the end, but when we went away, people didn't expect us to beat Bermuda. It was the first time in a while that we were able to defeat Bermuda. So that, as I say, opened the eyes of people back here, opened the eyes of the guys, because we all know that we were the best team in that tournament and we deserved to win that tournament. It just so happened that it didn't work out that day on the last day. We lost in that one. It took one over to defeat us. We started, I don't think we started that game that as well as we would have liked, but we fought, which is something that we might not have been able to do in previous times. We fought, we clawed our way back into the game and put ourselves in a position to win. And to losing that one over, it hurt me. I think that's my worst tournament in terms of feeling after it, just because of how it went down, how I knew that we should have won, and then to see Bermuda, because there are a lot of younger guys as well coming up through their ranks. They looked at it like they deserved to win, like they knew they should have won, but deep down I think they knew that we should have won, and that's how I felt. So it's just kind of upsetting for us.
Yeah.
So, well, for me at least. I don't know how the other guys felt.
Wow. Now, and unfortunately, 3 out of 4 games, still second place.
Yeah,
I mean,
not bad, but
still not the results you're looking for.
Lost on net run rate, which is kind of like the away goals rule in football. So
yeah. Now, we see where the players, or rather during that tournament, there were a select few players that stood out more than others. Some players carrying 60 to 90 runs per game, whereas you had some players who, didn't make that many runs. We'll leave it at that. Was this just a matter of the dynamics between the two players that were on the pitch at the time, or was this just a matter of skill gaps that have since been increased? Do we now have more proficient batters?
I think everybody, it was just more of a team effort. So when guys were scoring runs, some people might have taken a box seat if they're at the crease with them. I don't think it's anything to do with the difference between skill level. I think we're all pretty much where we need to be in terms of being a competitive team. But on the day, or on this tournament, it wasn't their time. The tournament before might have been their time. Yeah. Also, some people just continue where they left off. But I don't really think there was anything in terms of technical ability that we had to adjust. It's just sometimes it's a guys' tournament. And other times, guys might have, as we all have family, we all have our lives that's going on back in Cayman. Yeah. And sometimes that affects us when we go away as well. I think people can sometimes forget that when we do go away, we do have lives. Sometimes people are leaving their jobs without being paid. Sometimes they don't know what they're going back to. So it can play on your mind while you're out there thinking about, you're trying to bat, but you're also trying to think about what's going to happen when you do return. Exactly. And that affects performance for sure. Especially that's not being paid sometimes, or not as much as other people might be paid. So yes, we are doing this for fun, we're doing this for free, and we just want to put on a good show for our country, but it doesn't always work out that way.
And on that note, I've seen where there's quite a strong gathering, an impressive support, or at least by the number of people out by the cricket oval in Georgetown. On the weekends, you can drive by and you can see the place well packed with players and the occasional onlookers as well. The need for support, is that still an issue?
Well, I mean, I think that we've always had support from certain people. I think that what's happening now is the game is becoming entertaining again for them. Yeah. And rivalries are coming back into the game. That's something that we've been missing for a long time. Years ago, it used to be Prison versus Bayreuth, and whenever Prison was playing Bayreuth, it was almost like an international game. People stop whatever they're doing on a Sunday to come and watch. People come after church to come and watch, and those rivalries are now coming back. Everybody wants to beat Paramount, everybody wants to beat Seoul. Yeah. So those rivalries are back, and I think that's helping to have a lot of people coming in watching games.
Wow. And as far as you're concerned, getting that level of support, how do you trickle that down into the schools, into your younger age groups?
Well, I think that one thing that we have going for younger age groups is parents. A lot of parents come to watch their children play at all levels of our younger levels. And this year, a lot of them have been much more involved in the after-school cricket programs, in the Saturday cricket programs. And they themselves, a lot of them had no idea what cricket was when they first came out. and now I heard a lady that when she first came, she didn't even know what a 4 or a 6 was. Oh, wow. And I hear her screaming now for her son. So, it's all about coming out and learning the game too, and it provides a nice family environment. It's a good place to come spend some time and grow.
Wow. Now, I know that in recent years there was a rough patch. Things weren't at its most cheerful within the organization, and that in turn had an effect on the game and how players, performed. But since then, there have been changes made, and you're seeing a rebirth of the game, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened is that a lot of years ago, we used to have a lot of funding from the ICC, but with a certain amount of funding, you have to be able to produce certain results and certain numbers. And because of those things not happening, we ended up losing some of our funding. So it put the association in a position where we had to kind of take a step back, look at what we were doing. We had to try and rebuild our youth program because we had lost that for a while. I would say simply because lack of interest.
Yeah.
From people wanting to play football. Football is an all year round game, so there's really no time to play cricket.
The beautiful game.
The beautiful game, exactly. But we made some changes at board level. We made some changes at technical director level. Peter Anderson has come in, and he's brought a different attitude. I think a lot of the players were probably on the verge of giving up and not wanting to play anymore. A lot of them told me that, they feel better off spending their time on the beach. But I guess with Pete coming in and just pretty much changing the way we train, the way that he approaches the game, it's brought back a lot of the players that used to play years ago. It's brought them back, and the results are showing.
What do you need to do to resume that ICC funding?
Well, thankfully, because of the work for the last 2 years, our funding has actually started to go back up again.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different aspects that lead to funding. The number of people playing the game, the number of facilities that you have, all these things help. The amount of women playing the game, that's one of our sticklers.
Yeah.
I think what we ended up with was a lot of older women playing, but at least now we have some primary school girls who play. So has 6 girls playing. East End Primary has 6 girls playing. So all of those things help grow your numbers, and therefore it increases your funding.
I see. Now we'll be taking one more break, a tiny little break. And when we come back, we'll have our closing thoughts and comments from these two gentlemen. So stay right here on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Whether you're planning your child's next birthday party or simply looking for a social night out, look no further than Kingpin Bowling at King Sports Center.
With a range of packages and specials for bowling parties, socials, and corporate team building, Kingpin Bowling offers what no one else can. The only bowling alley in Cayman. And it's indoor fun, which means no mosquitoes, AC, and don't forget about their bowling bar. Book your bowling lanes today. Call 946-BOWL. That's 946-2495. Email kingpinbowling@candw.ky. For more information, visit their website, www.kingsportscenter.com.
King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
At Flow, we know that 4 are better than 1. Introducing Flow Quad Play. Packed with the fastest, most reliable broadband, the power and control of Flow Evo TV, Cayman's best mobile experience, and tons of home phone minutes, all in one convenient package from only $199 a month. With 4 plans to choose from, you're sure to find one that fits your needs. It's value, ease, and convenience all on one bill with Cayman's #1 network. Find out why 4 are better than 1 with Flow Quad Play at discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211.
Community radio with a different appeal. The voice of the people. Security through adversity. Stuck on you. Radio for all time.
You're listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
And how quickly time flies. We're down to the wire right now on this episode of Sports Extra. Of course, in the studio with me talking all things sports is Mr. Ricardo Roach, the Cayman Islands Cricket Association's secretary, as well as national team captain, Mr. Ramon Seeley. Now, during the break, we were talking about some hopeful events that, where the CICA is looking to execute later this year. In particular, a summer camp. Every year you guys put on that summer camp, and this year, hopefully, it will be the same. A lot of legends and important or international players gracing the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, well, we'll be definitely doing our summer camp again this year. What we're hoping for is to have some current West Indies players here. And those current West Indies players, it may be about 3 or 4 of them, they'll be helping our national team with preparation for their senior tournament. And then they'll actually be doing coaching clinics for the kids as well. So it'll be nice. You can come down and have your picture taken with, an international player.
Wow. And, the West Indies over the last couple of years have been having a shaky time as well. But can they help the national team? Can they help you guys get to that next level?
I believe they can, just because they're at that next level already. They know what it takes to get up there, and they have the experience of playing against guys that hopefully we might be playing against them when we win this tournament in August. And they might just have little key things that people need to hear from someone else. You might be hearing it from your coach here, but when you hear it from someone that plays at that level or played at that level, it's a different. I don't know. I think it's just a Cayman thing that time where you just take it more from a stranger rather than somebody that you know all the time.
It's sometimes a little bit of repetition, and from an outside source does go a long way. You're right.
Definitely. So I definitely think they'll bring something to our national league program. Even playing against them, maybe bowling against them, you realize you might have to be a bit stricter, or you might have to be more disciplined than I'm playing against people all the time.
Wow. Really and truly, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Any final thoughts or comments that you might want to add?
Well, I would just say thanks for the opportunity to come on the radio. I always love coming here. Our competition is still going on every Saturday and Sunday at Smith Road Oval and the Jimmy Powell Oval. We have games in the BRAC going on as well. So for everybody in the BRAC, get to the high school and watch those guys play. It's really a treat to play over there. I was there this weekend. And, I would just encourage anyone, if you want to get your child involved in cricket, bring them down and we'll get them going.
And, Mr. Seeley as well, your final thoughts and comments.
Just one, I want to come on and support us, as Ricardo was saying. I think this year is going to be a special year for everyone in cricket, so hopefully I need everyone to come out there and we can put on a show for them.
This year could be the year we see a trophy being brought home.
Definitely.
Exactly. That's the aim.
Definitely.
And for our brackers that are listening, what are the chances that they might end up on the national team?
You put in the performances and you'll get selected.
We've had them before, so wouldn't stop them now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, I'd like to thank you guys both for joining me here tonight. It was a pleasure. To our listening audience, also, thank you for allowing us to traverse with you through the streets and, of course, in your homes. I'm Andrel Harris, filling in here for Dion Anglin on tonight's episode of Sports Extra. Of course, Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information on sporting activities in the Cayman Islands every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM on Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Of course, you can always visit us on our website, that is www.radiocayman.gov.ky. And we are always here to promote and uplift all things sports on island. So if you'd like the opportunity to have your organization or association, federation, club, coaches, athletes, or events featured on our show, feel free to give us an email at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. Of course, Sports Extra is sponsored by King Sports Center. So for Thank you to my guests. I'm Andrell Harris here, signing off for Sports Extra. Remember, patience is a virtue, and time masters all.
Radio Cayman's Sports Extra show was proudly sponsored by King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Music Express.
Music Express.
Music Express.
This is where the ride begins. A magical musical journey.
Music Radio Cayman's Music Express.